What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Footy with an Edge. We're here for the very first Footy fan debate, and today things will get a little chaotic. I've brought in two of the sharpest, funniest, and let's say most unhinged football minds from our Discord, Elton and Shant. You've seen their takes in the comments, you've seen their takes in the live shows, and now we're putting them head to head live. So here's how today works. Each topic has two rounds, loosely speaking. Each of them will get 2 or 3 minutes to make their point. And then I'll jump in, poke and prod, and ask the tough questions. I'll obviously listen to you guys in the comments. And we'll just try to have a good time, right? We're just trying to enjoy the unhinged takes. And you guys need to let me know in the comments who's winning. Might even start a poll, a live poll that stays up so you guys can, keep changing your vote back and forth. And we've got some big questions, some spicy hot takes. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Lads, how are we doing?
Doing good. Great to see Nelson as always. Thank you, Andy, for all the content you put out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this discussion.
I'm buzzing. I can't wait. That's all. I just want to get straight into it. That's my whole. I want to hear all of Sean's points because we actually agree on a lot of these things.
We do actually.
It's the slight deviations that we're kind of playing on. So I'd love to hear his takes.
Yeah. I love how they're tempering the room before things just start to explode. Because here's the thing: it might actually be that they agree with each other, but I don't agree with any of them, right? So I'm still here. Don't forget that. But let's get straight into it. So our very first question for today, and I want Sean to kick us off because this was kind of the basis for us to get to this question in the last live show. We talked about how important height is in the Premier League, how important physicality is in the Premier League. And our Armenian brethren from LA here had to say that, short players can actually do well. And he was talking about Vitinha, he's talking about Pedri, João Neves as well. Kick us off, man. Mr. Sean, whose first time camera appearance on the show, by the way, and looks like he should have been doing it the whole time.
No. This is just a janky setup. I mean, I was fumbling around. As you can tell, I've got some moving stuff over here, but I also got a little bit of a, homage to the man, the myth, the legend that's in the caption. But anyways, I just wanted to kick it off and say the Premier League is not like a dating profile for girls. When you look at anyone underneath 6 foot, there's a lot of things to unearth there. And I think when we think about some of the prototypical midfielders that we want into our setups, or if we look at what's going on across the board at some of the, the better teams in the Premier League, people will instantly look at the Rodri, people will instantly look at the Declan Rice without taking notice of the technical players and the maestros that have been around them for most of the time. And it doesn't really even have to stop there. It is more indicative of how systems have developed and evolved over time as the Premier League has changed certain metas. So the whole can you do it on a rainy Tuesday in Stoke doesn't really work when you have legends like Scholes, Bernardo Silva, Conte, Moise Caicedo. And honestly, if you look at it, Elliot Anderson isn't the greatest, in terms of size or profile, but it's about how they play, it's their tenacity, how they're able to, really affect the games by being able to be lower to the pitch, being able to scan, screen, and have more of that technical ability, which I think is more important than size and profile because the Premier League is one of the quickest pitches in terms of football across the top 5 leagues and the most physical. Barcelona didn't go around whoop our butts in the Champions League final because they were more physical than us. They did it because they had midfield maestros there passing around us and with Messi getting on the end of a header. So that's a little bit of, what I'm thinking. But in terms of João Neves and Vitinha, listen, I don't want to bring up PTSD for us as United fans. We definitely know what it feels like to really have really crappy midfielders. These guys would excel in any setup whatsoever. And what's up, Poppy PK? How you doing, man? I think when you look at the decision 2 years ago, was it in the summer of 23, or was it when it was the Ugarte Was it 23 or 24?
Nominated by that was 24.
That was 24. Okay. So that didn't make it into the video, but if you guys haven't seen the video that Andy and Rishi put up, oh my god, it's blockbuster viewing. And it's just a one-parter at this point. There's a second part coming out soon.
Second part coming out tonight, yeah.
João Neves would excel in La Liga. He'd excel in the Bundesliga. He would excel in any of the top 5 leagues, Serie A, the Premier League, and where he currently is, Ligue 1. And you saw how they were dominating teams all throughout the Champions League campaign. And I mean,
I saw how they dominated Armenia when they beat you guys 9-1.
Listen, Armenia and Portugal have actually they have a pact where Portugal is actually coming in, and this isn't even BS. They're going to raise the profile of the football quality in Armenia. And there's a player that wasn't on the pitch that day as well that I think would be really good on any pitch. He's a legend.
Okay, yeah, but we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that for later. Okay. But hear me out, right, Sean? Before I let Nelson explode, because I see him bubbling there, right?
Yeah, he's like.
Here's the thing. I agree with you on João Neves, and guys in the comments below, tell me if you agree with what Sean said. Basically, Sean's point is João Neves, Vitinha, these guys would thrive, right? Just as good as they are in the Ligue 1, just as good as they are in the Champions League, in any other league in the world, and that includes the Premier League. My point here, Sean, is that I think he would do well in 4 of the top 5 leagues, except for the Premier League, because the Premier League specifically is very, very physical. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a crap midfielder. That's not my point. I'm saying he's definitely not going to look like he's probably worth 150 million right now, right? Whether you're talking about Vitinha or João Neves, both of them easily worth 150 million, 120 and up, whatever, let's call it that. So my question is, would the physicality of the Premier League really be something that they would thrive within? Because, you know, you're getting like 2-footed tackles from some of the Sunderland players. You're getting a lot more. You're getting a lot of bumping, right? If you watch basketball, basically, you know how the centers have to do a lot of take elbows and stuff like that under the paint. That's something that they're going to have to do. So with that being said, Nelson, take us through it, bro.
Okay, so you've stated quite a few things here. And João Neves would probably, there's only one team that I think he would actually play well in the Premier League, and it's under Pep. I think that's the only guy who might tune his system to make João Neves actually work at Manchester City. Every other team, and I mean every other, he would struggle. He is like 5'7", 5'6".
It's enough.
Here's the thing that I think he wins in. I looked up at his FBref report. He wins 60% of his aerial duels. What are we talking about? He would, in the Premier League, he's shorter than Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno's 5'10", though. Bruno's not short. Bruno's 5'10".
But that's my point, is whenever you look at Bruno versus other midfielders, we struggle. We struggle with physical, dominant players. João Neves has a lot more bite to him. His aggressiveness in terms of winning the ball is a lot better. But in terms of his physicality in the Premier League would be so much lower. It'd be average. There's a guy I really wanted us to get, Yuri Tillemans. I remember when he was on a free transfer. And
before he went to Villa, yeah.
Exactly. I wanted him. But you could clearly see that one of the reasons why we didn't get him is we looked at his physicality and went, this is a problem. And even though he has shown to be a really, really good player, physicality is an issue, because if you're bringing a short guy, you have to balance it out. They brought him in at Aston Villa with Onana as well, because they went, if you're going to put a 5'9" guy or 5'8" guy, we need a 6'4" person. If you're playing Newcastle, you're playing Joe Linton, Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes, 6 foot and up, every single one of them. You play Arsenal, everyone's 6 foot and up, except Zubimendi, who just came in. Previously, Partey was 6+. Rice is 6+. You go to the only top 4 team, Chelsea, which I think Chelsea have gone down a little bit, but Chelsea are the only one whose midfield is quite small, but they're crazy tenacious. Fernandes and Caicedo are constantly on you. If you were to argue that we were going to play a 4-2-3-1, where you have an attacking midfielder who's going to be dropping into the midfield, I 100% agree. You can get a short guy. In our terms, we need hybrids. You need 5'11", 5'10", maybe 5'11", 6 foot up. My preferred guy is Kefren Thuram from Juventus.
Yeah, he's 6'4".
He's 6'4". That's a guy I wanted. I wanted him when he was at Nice. It was crazy that it's always been my thing. I've always wanted Kefren. I love that guy. He's 6'4". He dribbles. He passes fairly well. I see him in the Premier League as a stereotypical Premier League midfielder with technical ability.
Can I respond? Can I respond to the João Neves, because I got the FB ref up as well?
Can I just tee you up there, Sean? Yeah. Because one thing I would want to say is, I think we are also specifically looking at it from the perspective of João Neves would be good in our midfield.
Yes.
Right. That's where this conversation started. So, do you think someone like João Neves would work in a 2-man midfield in this Amorim system?
He'd work in a 2-man mid. Oh, sorry, Nelson. Did you want to?
No, that's for you. It's for you.
Yeah. I said no.
He'd work in a 2-man midfield. He'd work in a 3-man midfield. He'd work in a 1-man midfield. He can do everything. He can carry the ball. He can screen. He can cover. I'm looking at the FB ref stats actually, and across the past year against all the midfielders in the top 5 league, he's actually won 65% of his aerial duels. So even for that stature and size, he's in the 94th percentile for aerial duels won, which leads me to my next point about this midfielder debate. I think aerial duel percentage winning and that type of like profile is romanticized in the Premier League. I think the players you really want to have the height are the center backs, maybe a striker, an auxiliary player that could be a midfielder, could be a winger, and your keeper. Those are the positions where height has shown, because in set piece defense, that's where you're getting the biggest benefit out of that. But when it comes to attacking formations and game states, winning the second ball has been proven to be just as important, because you saw how we played against Liverpool. Van Dijk, Konate, aerial monsters, but it didn't matter because our game plan and the system that we're playing was meant to neutralize that, regardless of however you saw us perform. We won against that.
But here's the issue we have. We are seriously lacking when it comes to height. That's a problem that we currently have. It's a reason why when Casemiro is taken off, you would argue Ugarte is
also the physicality. I just want to clarify, because height and physicality are correlated.
I'm putting them in the same bracket.
Yeah.
So whenever Casemiro drops off, you would argue Ugarte is a more mobile player compared to Casemiro. But the second ball argument doesn't work because of two things. One, obviously Ugarte is a poorer passer than Casemiro. But even at the opportunity of trying to win the ball, you see how quickly the physicality comes into it. My issue with someone like João Neves in the Premier League is, if you see PSG, actually, you brought up a good point. You said 65 percentile. He's actually quite high in the French league. That's 365.
No, it's across the top 5 leagues.
I would love it. I would love if FB.
No, but his statistic is from the French league, right?
Yeah,
because he's doing it in the French league.
Yeah,
of course,
majority of it is the French league. He'll play 38 games in the French league.
You can only play what's in front of you too.
Correct. But here's the thing.
Which is where Baleba came from, and where a lot of these hybrid French midfielders that have that profile come from, and he's beating them.
Here's the argument, though. Watch every single PSG game against English opposition. They all struggled. Arsenal almost beat them. Chelsea in the Club World Cup beat them.
Yeah.
Every English team.
They almost lost to Tottenham.
Correct. Every physical English teams are extremely physical. The guy who
That's a great point, guys. Yeah. This is Nelson's cooking here something.
Great possession.
I've seen it.
Possession-based coaches, whenever they come to the Premier League, all the best ones, you see how quickly they adjust. Pep came here, tried his possession-based football, realized it can't work, and immediately adjusted.
Listen, if that doesn't work, I'd like to see.
No. Here's what he means, right? Because I want to tackle this Pep point really quickly as well.
Yeah, take it.
A lot of people are talking. A lot of people are talking about Bernardo Silva and like Sterling and all these players working. you have to realize when Pep first came here, he actually had a more physical team from before.
Yes.
He tried to play the possession football with the physical team, and it never worked.
Correct.
Then he had to go get a physical back line, and then the tiki-taka midfielders in front. That's when it started to work. And again, with Pep, he is the best coach of this generation, right? Of this generation. So you're talking about a special coach with an open checkbook being able to play a specific style of football.
Of course.
So when you're saying 5% of the league, which is one team out of 20, can do something and use that as something that can be done across the 19 teams, I think that's too small a sample size for us to say this is something that can work. Because I'll tell you the other team that Pep went up against in these like 5-6 years of dominance, it's Liverpool. Did Liverpool have strong physical players? Yes, they did across the board. Their midfield was workmanlike. They had Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Henderson, all three workmanlike midfielders. And you could argue that if Liverpool went with the style that Pep played with these small players, they would have lost to Pep a lot more than they did.
Because the
physicality was the way to cancel out what Pep was doing, and that's what the other 19 teams were doing.
To add to it, every single player they've brought in, Liverpool, is a technical player.
They've gone away from what they were doing, and now they're struggling.
They got Sean's people. They got Wirtz, the best technical player from the German league. They brought in Ekitike, who I think actually is a really good player, but you can clearly see he's still young. He still has the childishness that eventually he'll mature to.
Yeah, it took his shirt off against Southampton.
Yeah, like why? Why would you do that? You look at Kirkes, very technical, but when you look at the problem is the midfield, which they ignored, the defensive midfield portion or the central midfield portion, they're lacking. They're lacking in aggression because we all agree that the best player actually in the attacking midfield isn't Wirtz. It should be Szoboszlai. He actually makes them a better team because of his physicality. But because they're lacking in right back physicality, they have to move him to right back. In my opinion, I think physicality in this league, I would love. I just hope, because Sean and I actually agree on a lot of stuff. I would love Manchester United as a possession-based team. I wanted Van Gaal, not as our coach, but as our director of football, so that he can actually adjust the structure of our team to get more possession-based players. But the problem we have is if you go too far to the possession side and clearly ignore the physicality of this league, you're going to get punished.
So
here's the thing, right, Sean? One thing I want to say, because we do have to move on to the other questions as well. One thing I have to say is we only need to look at Pep, because I think Pep and Man City have timed the style of play in the Premier League very, very well, right?
Exactly.
When they first came in, you could argue the first 2 years they didn't do that very well because they were talking about him coming to Man City for a long time and they were setting up his team. They didn't get that perfect because he had to go buy like four fullbacks in 2 windows or something like that, right?
Correct.
But once he figured that out, he realized as soon as Jurgen Klopp is leaving that the league is going to get a lot more physical. So even the players they're signing now, in terms of Nico Gonzalez, in terms of Tijani Reinders, in terms of even someone like Doku, right? He is even though he's short, he's more physical than like a silky, like tiki-taka type player.
Would you say those players are good because of their physical profiles, or do you think it's their technical ability, which I see all of them
I think it's
excelling?
Both.
So the question is not rather...
They're more physical, technical players. That's all I'm saying, right?
So
my
question is, do these players and do these systems fail because of the profiles of the player, or is there a confidence in tactical familiarity and confidence grown through the way that teams play, they're built upon, foundations are made, and then an eventual style is there? Because I think we can all agree that Amorim has adjusted with regards to the physicality of the league in terms of how he's playing the midfield. And by the way, this isn't, again, a binary thing. We got to have these short midfield magicians. I love the Pogba type. Pogba is one of my favorite players that have ever been at United, but it's not because of his profile. It's because of what you put together with the profile of the technical ability. I think that player that's able to scan, hit a one-touch ball, be able to dictate the game, usually comes with a lower center of gravity, a better ability to scan, which is not seen with a lot of these higher profile types, because what we've seen in the Premier League is more that destroyer type, more the oh, where's the danger? Go attack that danger, which is unfortunately what we're getting with Ugarte, who doesn't have that profile that would even make up for the lack of technical ability that he does have. So I think it fits in that these great players acted as foils to having also that dominant physical profile, because you need that, but you don't need that, and that doesn't overarch. It needs to fit within the context of the team, the system, and how you're playing.
I'll tell you what. I think we can wrap this up here, which is
because we're agreeing.
I don't think we disagree entirely. I think the point that Nelson and I were trying to make is that there is a little bit of a ceiling with what you can do if you're limited by the height or the physicality, right?
Yeah.
Do I think João Neves would be a great player in the Premier League, even in this team? Absolutely. He just would be 80% of what we're seeing at PSG. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
because
that's my point too.
He can be as good as he can be because the league is a little bit different. Let me give you another example, right? Because we talked about a lot of players from different leagues. You look at Xavi Simons at in the Bundesliga, right? He was like looking like one of the best players to come out of Europe, like he was like when he played in the Bundesliga. You can look at Christopher Nkunku. Maybe you'd agree that Christopher Nkunku looked really good at RB Leipzig. He was consistently in the team of the season. He scored lots of goals, got lots of assists, did well in the Champions League as well. Both of those guys, as soon as they came, actually very similar profile, both of those, they came to the Premier League. They're like looking like they're going to get hit by a train, and they're so scared they want to get rid of the ball, and they're not playing in their normal element, right? Even Šeško, for that matter, at 6'5", he does look like a little bit of like gingerly sometimes, where he doesn't know where the next hit is going to come from.
Can I give you a technical player that, like an amazing technical player that fully failed? A brilliant guy, actually. Anthony. Anthony's crazy technical. You watch his Ajax games, he was crazy good. You watch him right now, he's crazy good. I'm not kidding. No, look at his numbers. There's nothing, you can't deny it. He's actually a really good technical player. Dribbles well, passes the ball well, reads the game very well. The reason why he failed is he lacked that bit of pace. Every time he came along, he would beat a defender, and guess what he would do? The moment he'd take 2 steps, the guy's on him immediately. He'd have no second to do anything.
Rishi doesn't like the Anthony shot. Maybe Anthony's not the best example, but anyways, guys.
Like if you told me Varane or something, I could see, but not Anthony.
How many goals does Anthony have right now?
You're talking about the same Anthony, right?
Anthony has
Brazilian
6 goals in 11 games currently, and 2 assists
for Betis.
For Betis right now.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
point
that's
better,
good for me. That's good for me to end on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We move on to our next question, guys, which is Carlos Baleba. I actually had banners set up for this. I don't know why I didn't use it, but yeah, Carlos Baleba, is he perfect for Amorim, or is he just a miscast signing? Right. We need to talk about this, and we have Baleba's agent here. We're fortunate enough to get him on the call.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to tell us why Baleba is perfect for Amorim, and then Sean can tell us why he's not.
So I've been faltering with Baleba. Baleba is the number 1 guy for me now, and I'll tell you why he is number 1 now. Andy and Robert, in the last live call we had, they both kept referencing that the way our partnership should be is you should have one person who's like the passing midfielder. And the thing that we've been lacking is in the midfield, someone who has an extra dimension, someone who drives the ball up, someone who's technically gifted, physically gifted. His speed numbers are ridiculous. His dribbling numbers are, he's having a bad season and he's still one of the top midfielders in dribbling in the league, by the way. It's his take on numbers as a midfielder are ridiculous. So Baleba for me is number 1. Now here's a crazy shout. Wharton's numbers, I don't know if you guys have been looking at them. His underlying stats are horrible. To the point where the coach, Crystal Palace's coach, has actually come out and said he has noticed that he hasn't been performing as well as he did last season. His numbers are actually quite poor. Elliot Anderson, on the other hand, has been skyrocketing. But I feel like Anderson and, in my opinion, I would love if we get all three, but it would be Baleba.
Let me just rephrase, guys. So the next question that we were going to discuss is basically, would we be better off if we signed both Anderson and Wharton instead of getting Baleba to be one of the two that we signed? Right. Correct. That was going to be the next question we get to. So let's talk about all three together, since Nelson's already touched on Wharton, Anderson as well. And I will just preface all of this because I want you guys to speak on this. I'll preface all of this by saying I think Anderson's numbers being as good as they are a little misleading. And correct. Wharton's numbers being as bad as they are is also a little misleading. And same with Baleba. Yeah. Because Anderson, no doubt he's a great player. Forest are a struggling team, and they funnel everything through him. This is a little bit like, when you see Casemiro and Bruno's numbers right now, Casemiro looks like the best defensive midfielder that's ever been, and Bruno looks like the best number 8 that there's ever been. But obviously both of those are not entirely true. Yep. So with Anderson as well, I just need to preface that his numbers look good, but that doesn't mean he's the best thing since sliced bread. Yep. But I'll let Nelson finish.
Yeah, but and just so we're clear, when you look at underlying stats, I don't know if you have the FBref, but if you look at Fernandes and Casemiro, Fernandez's defensive stats are horrible, while Casemiro's defensive stats are through the roof. Like his numbers are way too high. Yep. Those are anomalies. So when I look at Baleba, Baleba's stats are actually really good. Dribbling stats are good. His tackles are good. His interceptions are good. He's clearly an intelligent player with dribbling.
How many minutes is he playing per game?
Currently, Baleba, or I have his.
How many times has he been hooked?
He's been hooked this season because he started with an injury. He's been he started the season injured.
Is that what
he's averaging about 60 minutes per game.
He was
60 minutes per game. So we're actually getting more out of Casemiro than we'd be getting out of Baleba.
Yeah, but
I think
he's 21. He's 21. He's gonna play. Yeah, he's gonna play. Yeah.
But I think Baleba isn't a Casemiro replacement. I think he's the Bruno replacement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know it's crazy, but I really think so.
Really, that's the take that made you.
No, I was just simmering. I was just like, okay, so
go ahead.
Okay, so we might see Amorim's football in different lights, but I can look at. I just want to establish some ground rules and some framework before we do anything. So that's Sporting. He played in same system, same formation. What were the profiles that he needed in the center mid? Okay, we can look at his last midfield pairing, and we can look at some of his first ones. He's had players like Hjulmand. He's had players like Ugarte, unfortunately. He's had players like Matheus Nunes. He's had players like Pedro Gonçalves. And he's had players like the Japanese player, I think Morita. What you've looked at, the player on the right side, or the player that is more that 6 dominant, that Hjulmand type, is ones that sits, screens, recycles, can be an aerial ball winner, but that's not really the necessity of what he needs. And then he has the carrier on the left, the line breaker, and the one that is able to arrive into the box late. When you look at the system as it's set up right now, we were having a lot of disjointing between Casemiro and Bruno, was because Casemiro was being left on an island while Bruno was positionally not very disciplined. And if you looked at how the tactical rigidity and the positional discipline needed for Ruben Amorim's system, it was one of the most horizontally rigid systems. They did not if you look at the heat maps, his players all throughout Sporting, they did not veer into other places. They do go forward and backwards. And I just want to address that in the chat. Gonçalves played at the 10, but he also played later on in the 8 as well. But even if you can go back to Matheus Nunes at the beginning, that was a carrier. That was somebody that was technically brilliant, and the more defensive he requires defensive effort. I think in the most recent interview, he said, you need physicality. Not that you need a big profile, but you need physicality in that team. The reason why Bruno's made up for his lack of positional awareness, his defensive errors and mistakes, is because he has an engine that can go like a Energizer Bunny.
I just want to say something here, Sean, because I appreciate you breaking this down from the sporting perspective as well. One thing I will say as to why Casemiro was on an island is not solely because Bruno didn't have the positional discipline. It was because our left 10, specifically Cunha, was not doing the defensive work that Amorim wanted him to do. Yeah. That was one of the big reasons. And that's why in the Sunderland game, when he replaced Cunha with Mount, Mount was filling in for the left wing back or Bruno stepping up. And that made a big difference to like how much support Casemiro had.
But would you say, regardless of those stats that Bruno has for interceptions and recoveries, that's not a highlight of his game, and that is a waste of his talents to just being a cleaning up for the lack of support that left 10 is offering from a defensive positioning?
So I'll say this. I think in Amorim's system, there are some players who are allowed to do more of some things and less of some things. But there is collective responsibility across the team to defend. So all 10 players need to defend. But I want to get back to why you think Baleba is more of a Casemiro replacement, not more of a Bruno replacement.
Because his numbers scream to me an elite ball winner and a destroyer and a carrier. So he has tons of tackles, tons of interceptions, tons of recoveries. We all saw the compilation reels. When he was playing with that type of, real confidence last year, he was taking the ball, doing keepy-uppies, flicking it over, and then driving into the final third, arriving to the box to supplant what in our system would be wingers and 10s. So my question is, when you look at how he's been played this season, he's been moved into more of a defensive role. He's not been played. If you look at his heat maps over the last games, he's barely red because he barely plays. But he's only had really one good performance in this campaign. The rest, his defensive awareness, if we thought we were having issues with Bruno, you don't want somebody with a Manu Ugarte type front foot pressing and lack of positional discipline in that area without the output that you're getting from the Bruno Fernandes. So progressively, he's not that passer. He's not able to really.
But he's a progressive carrying monster, right? He can carry the ball.
1 second, Sean. Let me just.
Okay, Nelson can go. Yeah,
because I was listening quite carefully. I wanted you to get through your points. First of all, his possessions. The main reason why he's Bruno's replacement is because of one specific fact. Bruno is amazing at passing. There's no one's going to deny that. He's one of the best passers in the league, if not the world. Yeah. When you replace him with a Baleba, we start carrying the ball better. When you look at his take-ons are he's 62% successfully dribbling passer player. He only gets 25% tackles. Like people tackle him, only 25% successfully. Do you know what Bruno's numbers are? They're 50%. It's a half and half chance.
Yeah. Bruno loses the ball a lot, but you take the output for that. Now, if you're saying he's going to replace Bruno,
yes.
Okay. Where are you going to get the progression if Baleba has not been as good as take-ons and shot-creating actions in the final third compared to Elliot Anderson and Adam Wharton?
I have so much to say on this as well, but I'm going to let Nelson answer it because it's a debate between you guys.
Yeah. So,
but I see what you're saying, Sean. I interrupted you because I totally got your question, which is you're saying essentially if we replace, if Baleba is the Bruno replacement, where are we going to get the passing that Bruno gives us, right? Yeah. That's your main concern. And that's a valid concern. I have some thoughts on it, but Nelson, go for it.
Yeah. So I think we have so this is what I think we differentiate. It's how we interpret the system. Your assessment is we currently use Bruno as the number one, like whether we like it or not, he's the number one chance creator for our team. The number two guys are Cunha and Bumo, and then whoever the wing backs are at that day.
I would say the Ahmad, Mbumo link is more
Correct.
of the
Correct. So
creation side.
So even if we go with those,
because Cunha has not to this point.
Hasn't.
Cunha we can just put as like a passerby. But continue.
But I think that's how the way it was structured technically is they were supposed to take Mbumo and Cunha was supposed to take a lot of the short creation or the chance creations from Bruno so that his usage actually goes down. Because that's a problem that we have currently, is that our usage has to go Bruno and then it goes to the other guys who then go, I have to wait to see what Bruno does so that we then start initiating whatever phase we're currently on. You bring in Baleba, and this actually ends up with my hot take, which is why I don't want to say it now because you might lose everyone. But what we need is when you bring in a Baleba, you need a better wing back. We definitely need a better left wing back. Yeah. Because one of the things you're going to now require is he carries the ball up. Then the issue I have is every time our attacking midfielders have to come down to start getting more and more of the ball. And then we lost that by switching it to long balls so that we can push them further forward. We've had to adjust our systems because we keep constantly going, we're not as effective attacking wise when we're trying to do diamonds. We might as well just lump it up to the 6'5" guy and we'll win the second ball. And then from there, we've created chaos. You bring in a Baleba, we now progressively get the ball further forward and we maintain it there, which is why the second guy to Baleba is going to be more important. I think Baleba takes Bruno, and then the second guy is, if you want Wharton or some guys want Anderson, you go with him.
Nelson and Sean, you guys both bring up great points and absolutely valid concerns, right? I want to clear this up, and I might actually make a full video on this as well.
Yeah, I was going to say this needs some.
Yeah, there's a whole.
Yeah, because here's the thing: from a tactical perspective, would you guys agree that Bruno and Casemiro are highly, highly specialized? In the sense that Casemiro is being tasked with so much defensive work, and he's being able to keep up with it, even though he doesn't have the legs. That's why he can't do it for 90 minutes. And Bruno is highly, highly the creative burdens put on him, right? So these are two players that are pigeonholed into doing very specific roles because of what they can and can't do, right? Where you could argue that some of Bruno's defensive work has fallen onto Casemiro and some of Casemiro's creative work has fallen onto Bruno. Now, I think Amorim's ideal vision comes into place when the Bruno replacement can do maybe a little bit less creativity, but give you a lot more defensively, right? Yeah. And the Casemiro replacement can do a little bit more creativity and have a little bit less defensive responsibility.
Exactly.
So that's why when I see Bruno right now, he is Amorim's box-to-box midfielder, right? He's not doing as much in the defensive box as he is in the attacking box, but he is the one that goes forward and back, whereas Casemiro tends to sit a lot more. And so that's why I see Baleba as a Bruno replacement, and I see Elliot Anderson or Wharton being the Casemiro replacement, who can sit and be the DLP, the one that pulls the string from the back. So if you're worried about who's going to do Bruno's ball progression, it can be the second player who plays in Casemiro's position. And that's how I think about this in terms of the progression of the system. And honestly, I would say your point about comparing it to Sporting and saying, positionally how, let's say, resilient each player was, I think that does matter for the two 10s and the wing backs. But I think the two midfielders themselves, if he had the right midfielder to start being box to box now and the left midfielder sits a little bit more, I don't think that would change that much about the actual system, right? Either of them could be either profile. So you could see the Bruno replacement playing off the right from next season and the Casemiro replacement playing off the left.
Which of the two midfielders, Anderson and Wharton, would Baleba be good with?
Best with?
Yeah.
I personally like Wharton.
I was going to say, I think it would be Wharton and Baleba if that's the setup. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like Wharton more. Yes, it's concerning that his numbers don't jump off the map at you, but it also shows me somebody who's just playing the system that's in front of him, right? Whereas in Forest, there's been so much chaos that Anderson's kind of been allowed to do whatever he wants. And that's why his numbers jump off a lot more. In fact, if you want to go back to some of the Bruno Fernandes seasons under Ollie and under Erik ten Hag as well, and you want to point to somebody who's like the best midfielder since sliced bread because his stats look so good, I wouldn't agree with that either, right? He is a very good midfielder, but his stats got padded a lot more because he had to do everything in the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think the problem is with Anderson. I told Rishi this, and this is, if you guys want a hot take, because apparently I'm giving out a lot of those recently. I was talking to Rishi on the air, and he's probably still in the chat. I told him I'm worried that what if we sign Anderson for 80 million and he looks like Sean Longstaff once he comes to our team, right? Yeah. I know it's a hot take, but my point is we've seen English players come into the team before and just look like absolute garbage. Like, let's not forget, we were so excited when we signed Maguire. We thought he was going to be our Van Dijk, right? Before he came here when he was playing for Leicester City. And then what did he look like? Right? He looked like Maguire, like Mr. Fridge himself. Yeah. So that's what I'm worried about. I think that's an extreme take. I don't think he's going to be a Sean Longstaff. But my point is that I would have more faith in Wharton kind of gelling into the system and being a more coachable player.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, so we go to you want to grab that jersey, man? Or are we just
are we already going to do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a wild
it could be
okay. It can sit there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Okay. So guys, we're here for the title question. And it is not the Premier League title. The title of the video.
That's number 5.
And yes, exactly. And so we're gonna talk about Inter's Henrik Mkhitaryan would be the perfect center mid for Ruben Amorim. Shant, explain yourself.
Okay. So I have to preface this with a couple things.
He needs to be you're going to be the entire screen for this one.
Oh God.
I got you on full screen too.
So listen to me. We need to disregard the old idea of Mkhitaryan when he played for us, when he played at Arsenal. We need to look at how he's progressed and how his role has changed when he went to Serie A. At Roma, when he had that little bit of a renaissance with Mourinho, and he won, I believe it was the Conference League, right? He played out of his skin, but he was still in an attacking midfielder role. When he moved over to Inzaghi's 3-back system, he played in the center mid next to Barella, and he was replacing actually a player that was heavily jeez, why are you putting this on my screen, dude?
Because it's fun, dude. That's what the viewers want.
No, but it's like you need to understand, I'm not saying 36-year-old Mkhitaryan right now we need to pay whatever the cost.
No. Say no,
because this I wasn't saying that. He's a perfect profile of the midfielder. If you went to FBref and you look at what Elliot Anderson is doing right now, because he's the flavor of the year. He has most touches, most interceptions, most he's basically the best mobile 6/8 English talent that we've got right now. The first person that comes in on the players that are most like Elliot Anderson, Henrik Mkhitaryan, this year. Okay? So what he offers you, he played this year against Roma. He was up against Manu Kone, which is another player that people are saying, oh, what about a great profile that he has? He absolutely dog-walked him. He went and he was the man of the match, ran 11 kilometers during that game. Okay? Mickey, I think, has had the wrong profiling of when he came out of Dortmund, coming to United and coming to the subsequent clubs. You wanted him to be this like effervescent, like final third winger that's also like a 10 that's able to really connect and create. He has become that all-around veteran, seasoned, ball recovery winning, most just gets a bite in. He has the vision. He's ambidextrous. There's too many reasons as to why Mickey just makes so much sense, especially if Bruno is going to be on his way out, because we're going to finish within the top 4. And I have another hot take that's coming up, and that could be later. If Bruno wants to have this nice little swan song this season and come out because he's actually brought us back into more glorious positions than what we've had in the last decade, I think Mkhitaryan could be that type of like veteran leadership that you have in the final, that little bridge between getting an Anderson, a Wharton, or a Baleba. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get it all out? Did you
Not
leave
yet,
any in
because
there?
I want to defend where you guys think that he's so off.
Okay, so let me do this, right?
Andy,
to-
please. I have one statement.
Okay, go for it.
The number 4th guy is Matteo Guendouzi. Do you see
Great
that?
player. Great player.
You think Guendouzi's a good player?
He would be great in our system.
What? Oh, I need to change the thumbnail.
Wait. First of all, in what position? On the bench?
Just an auxiliary player. No. But keep going.
I love that the second we started this segment, Sean's poll winning numbers just went down.
No, my poll numbers have been down ever since you guys decided to 2v1 me, but it's fine. It's totally fine.
Well,
it's like every take, Sean, I'm just gonna come in and tell you why you're wrong, and I'm actually gonna give you a whole video about it. And then Nelson saying, "Yeah, well, Baleba strong." At least we're not getting the Bunda debate. I mean,
dude, you know how wrong you have to be for me to take Nelson's side.
Yeah. Usually,
me and Nelson always disagree.
Here's a part that I do agree with you, and I will agree with you. I do think Mkhitaryan was. And it's a Shinji Kagawa debate as well. We misprofiled who we were getting. Yeah. That's the issue. If that was your argument, I'm with you. Here's the problem. In this system, are you crazy? I was just looking at his underlying stats because that's what I look at. I look at all these crazy, silly numbers. His dribbling is immense, but that he was always a good dribbler. There's no question. Yeah. His passing though is shocking. His what was it? Possession-based passing. His pass types were long passes were 70%. Oh, sorry, short passes 70%. Mid passes.
Can
you scroll down?
You got to go to his complete scouting report.
Yeah. You have to actually go further down to get.
In which year are you?
This year.
He's been injured for this.
Just check last 365 days.
Okay, let's go with
but let's use actually a competition where he was good. You look at 2023-24 or 22-23.
Okay.
Let's do the year that he was at the Champions League final. How about that?
But wasn't that with a different coach though?
Yeah, with Inzaghi.
And now
I'm not looking at Kivu. I'm not saying in this formation, this setup.
Oh, okay. So you're saying in the previous setup?
Yes, of course.
Inzaghi, with the best center back, Bastoni, playing basically as like.
I'm not saying we don't add to our team. I think Luke Shaw's been a horrible left center back for us as well. We do need augments around the team, but I think that type of profile of like that hybrid 8-10 Mazzala is still that's to me that's an Amorim fit. Arriving late in the box, can play as that 2 in the 3-2-5.
Nelson, I wanna hear from you why you disagree with it, bro. Because you can't come out here and say, in this system he would have worked.
I'm lost. I'm lost on what exactly would he provide, because his dribbling numbers are good in the Italian league, where we noticed that their physicality, the whole.
You got to stop looking at numbers. Use the eye test. Use the eye test.
Hold on, Sean. You brought out the numbers though.
Wait, 1 second.
No. He brought.
Can you guys still see me? Hello?
In the highest form in a 3 at the back. So I mean, like, it's not as if like what I'm saying is like something totally out of the norm. I'm not saying right now in his injured state playing under a different system. I'm saying
wait, Sean, did we lose
I won. Let's go.
Nelson?
No, I think we did. Yeah.
Am I okay? Because something happened where like I couldn't see you guys anymore, and then I thought I also got kicked out. Yeah, Nelson, bro, if you're upset with his take, you can just
bro, just tell me.
It was that I was that upset that I couldn't even like. I had to call Kojiko to cut down our internet. Well, in my view, I don't understand what Mkhitaryan, who he's supposed to be replacing
that Bruno type midfielder.
So I saw him in this.
So
league.
you think he'd be better than Bruno?
No, of course not.
Okay.
No, but what I'm saying is that
okay.
type of profile a couple of years earlier, he'd be a better fit right now than what Bruno's doing from a positional standpoint. The shot creating output, Bruno is just a fantastic player. You put him into, 3-4 positions on this team, he can do a good job. And this is not to say that Bruno's bad, but I'm saying as a fit for a mold, that Inter Mkhitaryan is one of the molds that you need. Disregard the player right now. Disregard the age.
Okay,
but that
you're saying the profile in his
profile. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
But
Let me just say something that Nelson hasn't said yet. Because one second, Nelson, I'll just let you. I'll come to you.
Yeah, please.
Let me just say something that somebody's literally screaming in the chat, which I love this. Why is this dude? This StreamYard is bugging the hell out. Like, what is happening? Anyways,
I broke the stream.
Yeah, what's your take?
I crashed the stream. My takes
yeah,
are just,
YouTube is like, yeah, we can't be talking about
dude,
Mkhitaryan.
this is
not after Armenia lost 9-1.
Yeah,
but
he didn't play.
But yeah. So for me, we just talked about it for the first 20 minutes of this call. The physicality of the league. Okay, Mkhitaryan's not short, but he's also skinny AF, and
he's 5'10", 5'11", and he's technically
I know, but he struggled with the physicality of the league when Mourinho was
when he
here.
had pace. When he
had more pace as well. And listen, if you think Mkhitaryan's numbers look great in Serie A playing for Inter, dude, what would Bruno be looking like in the Serie A playing for Inter in that same position? We would be talking about the second coming of Jesus and just go get him already, right? Because I'm telling you, McTominay went to the Serie A and finished 18th in the Ballon d'Or, right? And McTominay looked better than Mkhitaryan did.
Yeah, but we're talking about players. Profiles. We're talking about players in the Prem that were misprofiled, and what we're judging them is how they performed in the Prem based on those misprofiled. McTominay was misprofiled. He's a better box crasher, and he's more flourishing in a position with Napoli as that like second, that kind of like shadow.
So let me give you another point. Again, we're all ganging up on.
That's fine. Go for it.
What the hell is happening, man? Okay, so listen. My point is, if let's say McTominay, instead of going to Napoli, he went to a Bournemouth or pick another team in the Premier League that would allow him to flourish in that same profile, right? Like forget about misprofiling. He does not finish 18th in the Ballon d'Or. He does not finish Premier League Player of the Season or even get into the Premier League Team of the Season, right? He doesn't score as many goals as he gets at Napoli. He doesn't get as many assists. They don't call him McFratham down in Bournemouth, right? That's the kind of point I'm making. So even Mkhitaryan in his profile, even if Inzaghi was coaching Arsenal at the time, I don't think he looks as good as he does right now in this area. And that's kind of the point. But I do agree with you. When you mentioned the shot, I went and looked at his FB ref numbers, and they are very good, right? So I'm not saying he hasn't been very good at Inter. My only problem is that whenever I saw Mkhitaryan in the Premier League, he looked like he struggled with the physicality. And this is not necessarily to do with height. And in fact, proves Sean's point from earlier, which is you could have a 6'2" player that's really skinny and not really do well, right? So it's not purely because of height. It's more about the physicality. And so that also says a short player can do well. Like, let's not forget, I'm surprised nobody brought this up. João Moutinho, very short player, but he was a great midfielder in the Premier League for Wolves. And I can see both sides of the argument, right? That a short player can work, but it has to be a very specific.
It's that's what I'm saying. It needs a specific profile with it. And if your system then has the complementary players to then take that physical load, I'm just saying midfield is not I think the importance of where to go tie back to the first topic, the importance would then rely more so on center backs and then striker keeper.
I'll stop using the word physicality and I'll use the word pace. It's a pace of the game in the Premier League that Mkhitaryan just could not keep up. At Arsenal, he should have been, it was tailor-made for him to really play well. He struggled. He struggled at Manchester United, where we looked at him as an attacking midfielder, switched it to, there you go.
He's a Baleba agent who also supports Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
If my family heard that, I'd be in trouble. But I can't see Mkhitaryan. Or you know what? If you're saying his profile, I would love to see a player like him
Yeah.
in the Premier League with those numbers. It'd be I don't know, Ryan Cherky kind of vibes would be the next guy who has.
No. I would say the Inter Mkhitaryan is more of like the Tajani Rangers. Is more like the so like
that. Wait. Thank you so much for bringing up Reinders. He was killing it in the Italian league, struggling to match up to the pace of the Premier League. He really is.
He looked unplayable in the first couple.
In the first few games. After that.
So, but I'm not. So this is not like, oh, I'm big upping Wirtz, I'm big upping Isak. Like, no, we're talking about a player that you've seen where it could work, but due to whatever corresponding factors, crisis of confidence, Pep falling out preferring to supplant Nico Gonzalez and other players. Like, there's Rodri coming back into the fold, Foden's resurgent. Foden, I mean, that's unreal player. I don't say Mkhitaryan and Foden really have that much parallels when it comes to like that carrying like aspect. That midfield player does need to have very good technicality, good ambidexterity with their feet, and can either do an incisive pass or arrive late into the box to have those penalizing goals, which is like what Foden's like. Foden, how many times has he scored against us with late runs into the box or just being the final man on the third?
Well,
Foden, do you rate
Pep
Foden?
is using Foden as like a deep lying midfielder as well this season. But that is Pep, right? We can't use Pep's examples. That's
totally understand. But what I'm saying is like we can't be looking at the meta of Sunderland, Burnley, what's it called? Coyote throwing into the box, like that's not the overarching dominant play style. We've seen Arsenal obviously because they're playing 4 center backs across the back line and they've prioritized set piece
70% of their goals have come from set pieces.
We'll see. I have some hot takes coming up. I think what we saw with Liverpool when they were winning but playing badly, we might see something like that with Arsenal. They might go into a slump. They might lose.
Oh, I have that take too. Like, I think Man City's winning the league this year.
I think
Man City's winning the league
this
year.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You can't keep playing the way they play and win the league.
Yeah, there's not enough open play chances. But I'll tell you this, right, Sean, because you think I have some agenda against you.
No.
Or I'm wearing an Azerbaijan jersey below my shirt.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right. I think Mkhitaryan for sure was misused, misprofiled in the Premier League. In fact, some of the stuff that's come out from his side about how Jose was mistreating him, and he was just like basically GTFO, like when you leave.
He was an abusive boyfriend, basically.
Yeah, he was in an abusive relation. You could have said girlfriend too, but okay, you want to treat your Armenian fellow like that? It's okay.
It's all right. But, that's my prize.
But yeah, so it was shit. Like what happened to him? And could he be good in the system? My only problem is that I think Mkhitaryan, even as a central midfielder, works better in a 3-man midfield than in a 2-man midfield. In a 2-man midfield, there would be way too much load put onto him, and Bruno is barely being able to keep up with it. And you would agree that Bruno is a much better player than Mkhitaryan. Right?
I'll concede that point as well. And I think like one of the 10s or the striker has to be more of like that Cunha or Mount type of like dropping into support, making like a 3-5-2 structure. If I'm being honest with you, which we've looked kind of like some of our best structure when we had that like 10 dropping in rather than Šeško this year. But I think there's good things for Šeško coming as well. But yeah, continue.
I like StreamYard is totally tripping the F out, but I like this guy. He only types in caps and he says Sean will fall in love with Angelo Stila. Okay. Moving on to our last question for today, guys, before we have some bonus questions. This ended up being a bit longer than we had anticipated. But we're gonna talk about. Okay, look at this StreamYard. I know, dude. I renewed my subscription today, and I'm so pissed. But okay. Anyways, Nelson.
Yeah.
You said in the Discord.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I know. Nelson's just taken the lead. By the way, he's 51%. Watch.
I'm losing it immediately.
No, listen. I told you this wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm the rational fan and Nelson is like doing the wild takes. No,
we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are lucky. I'm not part of that because I'd have been last. But anyways, Nelson in the Discord said 2 new midfielders do not move us into the top 4. So 2 midfielders. We've spent this whole time and the last few weeks talking about midfielders. Nelson says 2 midfielders don't move us into the top 4. What do you have to say for yourself, man?
So, let's start somewhere. We have an issue when it comes to balance. I think even if you include 2 midfielders, we still don't finish top 4. I know some people think we are finishing top 4. I have us as finishing 8th. If you look at any of the 2 midfielders, yeah, I know. If you look at any of the 2 midfielders we're being pointed to, a combination of either Baleba, Wharton. Wharton's the only one who's used to playing this specific type of system. If you bring in Anderson, I think it would take him a little bit of time to get adjusted to this. I think it would be the same issue with Baleba. We would have niggles. And my problem as well is, even if you look at our team with the current structure, we still need a wing back. I think, and this is crazy to say, I think we'd still need an improvement on Cunha's role. I think we need someone who's better than Cunha. I wanted Cunha. I thought Cunha would work out, but I think we need to improve on that position. And that's why I think if you look at our overall team, our team just isn't as good as the top 4 teams right now.
Did you say Cunha isn't good enough?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
As of right now, he could improve.
Yeah.
I have no problem with him improving, but let's be honest. Can anyone defend Cunha? No. He's carried the ball a lot. He's shown signs of being good, but you can't compare him to.
He's not releasing the ball quick enough for me.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Apparently, we have a super chat from Rishi. He says, "Y'all pissed off Composed View. He's the calmest guy." Where's Composed View? I'm not seeing his message though.
Where'd he go? What'd he say?
I haven't seen his. Where's Am I tripping? I don't see Composed View unless he's using a different handle. But yeah. Anyways,
messages. No.
I hear your point. So what Nelson's trying to say is essentially 2 midfielders isn't enough to get us into the top 4. So just to clarify, you're saying 2 midfielders in January doesn't get into the top 4 this season?
No, I mean
2 midfielders even in the summer.
I think even
doesn't get us into the top 4. Okay.
No.
So Shant, I know it's between you and Nelson, but I need to step in here. We have the biggest issue we have in our team right now is that when Casemiro leaves, we concede all our goals. Right? We're the best first half team and we're the worst, like 18th best second half team in the Premier League. Right? So when Casemiro is playing, we are essentially winning the league. And as soon as he leaves and we have Ugarte or Mainu come in, we look horrible. Right. And that's not to do with the wing backs, because we've seen different wing backs starting the games, not to do with the 10s, because we've seen different 10s start games, not to do with Šeško not being at it, because we've seen Cunha play there. We've seen Šeško play there. Not to do with any of our center backs. Okay. Maybe you can argue that, we're worse when Maguire starts, but that's the thing. He starts. So Casemiro is still in the team. Right. So it's not that Maguire's coming on in the second half and we're a shit team. The only position that we struggle with as soon as they come off is the midfield. And Amorim doesn't trust any of these guys in terms of being successful in that position. So for me, it is crazy talk to say even if we get João Gomez and Andre, like we just literally go and get Wolves' midfield, because apparently Statman Dave is a big fan of Andre, right? So I need to take a closer look at Andre. But if we get both their midfielders, they're both 5'9", they are both tenacious, both 24, 25. And I think getting the 2 of them makes us way stronger for top 4 this year. And in the future, in the next season, we need more than the 2 midfielders for sure. But in this January, getting 2 midfielders makes us, I would say even increases our chances of getting to top 4 by as much as 50%.
I think if you were to use this season because of Liverpool severely underperforming, I think if in January you go and get 2 extremely mobile and people who, let's just say, people who fit the system to a T, 100% I can see us somewhat making a top 4 challenge. Somewhat. But here's the problem, guys, that you guys seem to also forget. The reason why we are the best team in the first half is because we pressure the team a lot more in the first half. And then in the second half, everyone tails off. You see it. It's across the board. It's our attackers, it's our defenders, it's our midfielders. Everyone tails off. We are, as you said, we are, I think, second in the first half table, in the first half of games. And then we are last or 19th, or I think we're 18th, 18th, close to last in the second half of the table. But the reason why I think even if you bring in two midfielders, we've already stated Bruno and Casemiro, in their stats, they're performing as the best players in each individual role. So any person you bring in, all we're expecting is maybe we'll be more better defensively, but attacking-wise, guys, our big chances created were 9th in the league. We had high XG at the beginning, but if you actually look at how many clear-cut chances we're making, we're actually not doing that well. And those two midfielders might improve that maybe to, like, let's say 7th, maybe 6th, but that doesn't make us a top 14. Because unless you're saying our defensive stats will immediately jump up and we become a defensive monster by adding those two midfielders, no. I think we need another wing back, a better attacking mid, or Cunha evolves and becomes better, sure. But at that point, I have a Dogu point that would have been another hot take. But because I think Dogu's actually would be one of the best left backs in this league or wing backs in this league.
I don't think that's a hot take. Not for me. The rest of the people in the comments might think it's a hot take because I'm working on a Dorgu video.
Okay, perfect.
And did you guys know that Patrick Dorgu, this is giving some of the points from the video away, but Patrick Dorgu is the best in terms of duels won per 90 in the Premier League across all positions.
Defensively, he's sound.
Even attacking wise, he's progressive.
I think positionally and progressively, he's one of the best.
His decision making is what sucks. That's what boils my blood.
No, guys,
that's the only thing.
Here's why I disagree, and I know you guys are going to kill me for this. I don't think it's because his decision making is poor. It's because he gets to the final third. There's literally no support. I have multiple games. Okay. I will take screenshots and I will send them to you on Discord.
No, just wait for my video to come out and then I'll roast you in it.
Okay, 100%. I'll take it. Yeah, there are multiple times he gets to the box. He looks up and you can see he looks up, turns right, and either Sesko is on the far, he's either like at the far post or there's literally no one helping him in certain situations. And I think the reason is, and this is my viewpoint of Dorgu, he needs to create the same relationship with Cunha that Ahmad and Mbumo create.
I need more coffee for this.
I'm not joking. And I'm not kidding, by the way, Shant. If we get rid of Dorgu, which I hear some people want to get rid of him, I will put. Yes, a lot of people I've seen.
Samik and James both want to do it. I don't remember if James said that, but Samik said it for sure. And for me, that is crazy talk because he's the only, even more than Ahmad, he's the stereotypical Amorim wing back.
Exactly.
Right, because Ahmad is a winger that's doing a job there. And what we will see, this actually takes me back to the Casemiro conversation as well, because we were talking about which player replaces Casemiro, right? I think, oh my God, this fucking, okay, great. What is happening? Anyways, so every time I put a comment up, it messes up the whole thing. But so my point with Casemiro, why Casemiro plays on the right-hand side is because Amorim knows that all of our creative output, all of our shot creating actions are coming from the right with Ahmad and Mbumo. So we need more of the defensive cover on that side. And that's also why you don't see our right center back jumping into midfield as much as you see our left center back jumping into midfield. That's why Luke Shaw jumps into midfield a lot more than Yoro or De Ligt or whoever it is.
To augment that point, Andy, at Sporting, what you would have as well when Quenda was playing, he would have the left wing back tuck in with the back three, and you might even see a 4-2-2 formation, or in the mid phases where you're trying to get some control instead of 5-4-1 of what we're seeing right now. Dorgu would tuck in, or one of the midfielders would tuck in. You'd have two banks of 4 and a 2. So this all goes back to the system's a problem. No, the system's actually one of the most malleable systems like across the league.
It's the most total football system that nobody has recognized, right? Because he wants all his players to be able to do everything. If you guys remember, Ronald Koeman gets a lot of shit for the type of manager he is, and probably rightly so.
And
But he was one of the best center backs, central defenders of all time because of the stuff he could do on the ball, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was a short central defender, but he could score free kicks. Yeah. He could score free kicks. He was taking penalties. He scored so many goals from the edge of the box because he wanted, Cruyff wanted his whole team to be able to play every single position. And that's what I appreciate about Amorim as well. But I think to Nelson's point, to be fair to Nelson, by the way, the Shant is winning the debate by 52%.
Yeah,
you know why? Because I haven't talked.
Yeah, but yeah. So what do you think about Nelson's take about the fact that two midfielders don't get us into the?
I have a hotter take. I think as the squad is constructed right now, we're one of the best top 4 teams in the league, and our performances back that up. I think you've seen 3 teams above us that are not.
I'm sorry, one of the best top 4 teams. So you're saying we're the best team in the league?
We right now, our squad and how we're playing is top 4 quality. It's top 4 quality. Okay. So we're looking at a snapshot of where we're at. There's 3 teams above us.
I just want to clarify. Are you saying out of the teams competing for the 4th spot, we are one of the best?
Yes.
Or are you saying we are? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we deserve to be there more than Sunderland, more than Aston Villa, more than Tottenham. Okay. Those teams, when you look at their underlying numbers, if you want to go to FBref, whatever.
No, we can pull out Understat. I know what you're saying, though. I agree with those teams. Yeah.
The strength of schedule that we've gone through to this point, and for us to still remain at 7th, we have through the next 8 games, we have the 3rd easiest run in. Okay. Liverpool also have the 2nd easiest, or I think the easiest. So we're going to see them climb up a little bit. Hopefully, if they have any brains, they would, continue to play the right players there. But Slot is one of the worst managers in this league, in my opinion. I think Slot's the worst manager ever within the Premier League. That's also another take that I
have. Honestly, I agree with you there. People want to live up his backside so badly, and I'm looking at you, Jamie Carragher, that you're essentially not seeing the fact that this guy has taken a great situation, which is winning the league in your first season, and made it as bad as it could be. As bad as it could be. And I'm not even saying that it's FSG's fault for giving him those players, because all he had to do is ask if he's playing Mo Salah, then play like Ekitike up front, Gakpo on the left, and ask those 2 to track back. But he's not asking any of them to do it. In fact, he's telling Kirkez and Bradley to bomb forward as well. And that's why it's been so bad as it is. Because, dude, anybody from a mile away could tell that United's only threat comes down the right-hand side. And what did he do? He told Gakpo not to track back, and he left Kirkez by himself, and he conceded a goal in the 2nd minute. So, yeah.
But wait, I want to understand something from Sean. You're saying we are definitely a top 4 team right now.
Right now, we're definitely a top 4.
And what underlying stat are you using? Is it our possession, our attacking is better, our defense is better?
Our non-penalty, our non-penalty goals expected and assists like that puts us in, I think, like top 5 right now. When you look at just the way that we're playing, the errors that lost us the games were due to individual errors, and I actually that's kind of harsh, to be honest. I think Nelson's made a couple good points. But
it's harsh that he's a good dude, right?
Yeah, I think it'd be. I think maybe I'd have more energy for this if I just didn't like Nelson. But Nelson has this like inviting energy because he'll just say something. I'm like working, and then I just hear he's like, and then I think that whatever, and then I'll just be like, all right, StreamYard, get right in. Don't even have the camera set up.
Rishi has this. I didn't give Rishi the stream link, by the way. Otherwise, he would have been here waiting in the background. Yeah, but I appreciate that about both of you guys, right? Because listen, it's not that you have to agree with everything I say. In fact, maybe if you look at some of the other channels that are out there, like Mark Goldbridge and all that, he wants his entire chat to agree with him. And in fact, he'll go on this tirade about something and then start a poll in the chat and be like, do you guys agree with me? And everybody agrees with him, right? So I appreciate the people who can disagree, but you guys need to take notes, everyone that's watching, how these guys are disagreeing, because they will disagree, but they'll also state it in a way that's inviting other people to come and disagree with them also. So I think that's important. And for the next fan debate, I'm thinking about doing this every week. If you guys want to keep joining the live shows and make your case for why you should be on in the next week, not you two, I'm talking about to the others. In next week, we can bring some of you guys on and do this again. And if you guys want to see this again with Shant and Nelson, let me know as well in the live chat and in the comment after the video. But I think, okay, so looks like Shant is slightly edging it to Nelson. And I would say the 3% that Shant is ahead, I'm going to take back from him for the Mkhitaryan take. And we're going to leave it at...
It was a fair one.
That's a fair one.
Yeah, I'll leave it at 50-50. But we're not done yet. We have a quick fire set of bonus questions. Right. And this is some bonus for you guys. We still have 50 people watching. I know this isn't the football terrace and we have thousands of people watching. Yeah, exactly. But still, the 50 people, these guys are the real ones. They've been watching the whole time. So first question for you guys, and I'm going to take a close up at this point. Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
Most overrated player in the United squad right now.
So that requires people to rate them.
No. It could be that somebody else rates them,
okay,
or whatever you think their perception is, and you think it's way too high.
Okay.
Harry Maguire, probably. But I think people rate him.
I think some people talk. I think mine is, as of like right now, what we're seeing, Lenny Euro. I think.
Oh yes. Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so explain in what sense?
I think he has the tools and everything, and he's shown in one-off games that he definitely could be one of the best center backs in the world. But I do believe that positionally he gets naive some of the times he's making decisions. He kind of conflates the idea of marauding and getting into the attacking phases of play. Leads us a little bit overexposed, not in the sense that like you have the Solomona like just running a ragged down him, but in those positions where you would want a center back to be a little bit more aggressive in the box. I think he's been really unfortunate actually, but it's still a little bit overrated. People are making him to be like a Ballon d'Or or like a young player of the year level right now. I think he's just second, third best tied underneath De Ligt in terms of like how good he is.
Well, I don't think anyone's saying I don't think anyone's saying Euro is the best center back in our team though.
Yeah. But I think he's not a second, third, but I could see situations where if Lissandra comes back,
I'm going to say even crazier. I think De Ligt is better. I think Maguire is better. I think Licha might be better. We don't know how
we don't know how he comes back.
Yeah, I don't know how he comes back.
Yep.
And I think Mazraoui is better than him in the right centre back role.
Actually, can I take mine back? You can take that because I think you have stronger opinions. Kobe Mainoo. By far. Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah. I think I'll actually specify.
Well, can I just respond to the Euro take?
Oh,
yeah, go for it. Nelson will argue that. I'm taking Kobe Mainoo now.
No, I need to figure out if this is like I'm never having Nelson back on the show again, or is this like I can kind of see where he's coming from. Because I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I think Lenny Euro, in terms of young center backs in the Premier League, is there anybody that's better than him at 19?
No.
Okay.
Not at 19.
So you're coming back next time, Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay. So for 19 and for what he's being asked to do, let's not forget he could have gone to Real Madrid, gotten a bigger paycheck.
Yes.
He would have had an easier time.
He'd have gone to the under 21s or something.
Or whatever. No, he would have had an easier time at Madrid. Maybe less playing time as well, but definitely not as much of a spotlight. So he's come to Man United. He's taken it on the chin. You never hear anything from him, even when Bruno threw him under the bus. If he had Rashford's agents, they'd be out creating a big headline. None of that happened, right? He comes from a good family. He keeps his head down. He works hard. So for those things alone, he's not overrated. Second thing, I'll tell you on his game style and the way he plays, and the reason I disagree with Nelson heavily, Euro is already better than Maguire, bro. Because Maguire, the amount of mistakes he makes keep getting covered up by the media. If Maguire was like Maguireinho, like Brazilian center back or Portuguese center back, they would be killing him every week, and the perspective on him wouldn't be as good. Because people talk about, oh, Maguire scored the winning goal against Liverpool. This is his comeback redemption. Look at how cold his knee slides are. But we also lost the Brentford game because of Maguire.
Yeah.
Right? So he gave us 3 points against Liverpool, but he also took them away against Brentford. So you want to talk about Euro being overrated? Depends on how people are rating it, and I can see that, but he's definitely not worse than Maguire. At worst, he's the same level as Maguire.
Let me clarify exactly what I mean. I rate Euro as a young centre-back.
Prospect.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't rate him as a centre-back compared to the other. If you're putting him with everyone else,
he's not first name on the sheet quality that you can do for the others. But
and he shouldn't be.
But because of
but the quality that we have right now, what he's competing with, he's better than Maguire. We don't really have a right center back that's better than De Ligt is a better right center back than Euro, but De Ligt is also the central center back that starts. Yeah. So Euro starts at right center back because Maguire doesn't play right center back.
Let me tell you why I think Mazraoui is a better right center back. The reason why for right center back you need the pace to cover any winger coming your way, or any fast attacking midfielder pushing in your direction. Lenny Euro, I think Sulemana scared him to bits. Every fast winger he sees, he immediately backpedals. You notice he's like, oh no, I don't want to get close to him because he's going to beat me. Mazraoui, on the other hand, I think intelligence-wise is a more experienced player, so he's able to take those interactions a lot more comfortably. Which is why I do think Mazraoui is better.
But this is my issue with the take is that at 19, I'm rating him as a 19-year-old. That's why I asked you, compared to 19-year-olds, how do you think he is? He's the best 19-year-old center back in the Premier League right now.
100%.
I think he's better than Huijsen as well, the guy who went to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I agree.
He's gotten already red cards as well, right?
100% agree.
100% so I'm telling you, for what we're expecting out of him, or what I'm expecting out of him, he is not overrated at all. In fact, he has shown me more than I expected from him, because sometimes I see him on the ball and I'm like, that is Rio Ferdinand in disguise.
Yes.
Right? The way he runs with the ball, the way he can carry it, the stuff he can do, the athleticism. So that's my only problem with it. But I think, Nelson, we still have my overrated player.
Okay, go ahead.
So for me, it's Cunha. It's Mateus Cunha.
I hear you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Right? Because and some people in the chat said it as well. It's Mateus Cunha because
he's a floor raiser, man.
With I'll just give my case, and Sean, you can react to it. Looks like Nelson and I agree. Mateus Cunha is 26 years old. He's in his prime. We paid, I know it doesn't seem like big money. We paid big money for him. And where he's excelling is actually in the same category as Dorgu. He's winning a lot of his duels, right? In a lot of the games, you go check his stats. He wins the most duels in the game. Was it Forest? I think it was Forest. He won 11 duels in that game. So in that sense, he's doing well. But I think he still thinks he's playing for Forest, right? I think not Forest, sorry, Wolves. I think he's still playing at Wolves in a sense where it's actually a good reason why I think he's overrated right now, because he still feels like he needs to do everything in this team.
Yes.
He still reminds me of Bruno Fernandes from 2 seasons ago, where under Erik ten Hag, he was at left wing, at right wing, at left back, at right back. He was trying to do everything. And that's my issue with Cunha. He needs to release the ball a little bit sooner. And I feel like people are already looking at Cunha as if he's contributed as much as Mbeumo has.
No,
but
exactly.
He has not at all. That's my problem. That's why I think he's overrated.
I think Cunha, let's be honest, has had one excellent game and a couple of other good games. But if you look at it, if you were to weigh him, I think Cunha hasn't performed as well as he should. Actually, what I agree with you. I think he's still trying to play like the way he played the Wolves. He kind of reminds me of, do you remember when Rooney would have his purple patch would die and he's still trying to like force it? And he would like go into midfield to grab the ball and bomb through 4 or 5 players just to score that crazy winner. That's the kind of vibe I get from Cunha. And because we do lack a lot of like goal scorers in this team, when he doesn't pass the ball as much as he should or make the right decision, it seems worse. It just looks bad.
Yeah, and this guy's back again with his all caps chat. Dude,
Okay.
you have your caps lock on. You know that, right? Joseph Peterson.
And Compose wants to deport me, and I'm a citizen of the U.S.
I don't
He's
see
just
it.
like, bro, he's like, get this guy out of here, Nelson too. Just get him out. Like,
please add an option to both contributors losing the debate. We need to vote.
That's right. Yeah.
Can't win them all.
Yeah, I like that we got to the hot take section and now there's 70 people watching. We actually gained people. We should have started with this in the beginning. Okay, cool. So we got it. Sean said Mainu, I said Cunha, Nelson said Euro, and we talked about it. Second question, guys. How long does Amorim last at United?
I think so. Given Ineos, it's all dependent on Ineos. I think if Ineos gives them the tools and the structure, I think Amorim will lift the title. And I actually have another hot take. I think he'll lift the title.
No, I want to hear number of years or number of years. Seasons.
At least 6, and he only leaves on his own accord.
6, so
at least.
So like a Klopp in a way.
Yeah,
6 could even be 10. In my opinion, Nelson? I think he's the one.
I don't think they renew his contract.
I knew Nelson was going to say that because we've talked about this before.
We've talked about this. I don't think not because he's not a good coach, by the way. I think he's a great coach. But I think his system, since it relies on such, like every single player plays a specific way, I think eventually the club would go, we're going to transition to another coach. And by the way, before anyone kills me, he wasn't our number one choice. De Zerbi was our number one choice, and he rejected us. So
that was for the money, though. He wanted more money.
Exactly, yeah, and that's true. But clearly, the number one choice guy was De Zerbi.
Yeah.
So that means I think Amorim, can he win us a title? Yes. I'm actually with Shant on that one. I think he can. But I think all the blocks that would be required from Ineos, I don't think they would. I think people are also kind of negating the finishing of 15th impacted us quite seriously. And I think if this season we don't finish top 4, I don't think he gets I don't think they renew his contract. Yeah. I think they'd be like, thank you. You've done what we needed, but let's move on.
I'm gonna give you a slightly boring answer because I've heard from James a lot, and he has a connection to the club from the Muppeteers, and basically I think they're gonna treat Amorim just like they treat any signing, because what they've said about the signings is you have 2 years to prove yourself, and if you don't, then we're gonna let you go, right? And that's why they were so harsh on Højlund as well, because we know all the mitigating circumstances with Højlund, but they still were like, no, you got to go, man. It's been 2 years. We can't wait around any longer. There's too much on the line. So I think if, like Nelson said, if he doesn't, depending on how we finish, where we finish, right? If we finish 6th and we do well in the FA Cup, or if we finish 6th and it's been just a crazy competitive league around the top and AFCON hits us very hard and things like that, that is probably acceptable. If we finish like 8th and it was like clearly Amorim's fault, I think he's gone even at the end of the season, because they're not going to sit around and wait to see if something could work. Yeah. But that being said, I do think I have seen enough from Amorim and his system to give me the benefit of the doubt that he's doing something that nobody else can do, right? In terms of the exceptional qualities. And that's why, by the way, out of Baleba, Anderson, and Wharton, I like Baleba the most because he can do something that neither of the other players can. He has that exceptional quality of like, I'm going to, put off 3 players and dribble all the way to the goal.
He can play a 9 or 10 out of 10, whereas the best we've ever seen, Anderson and Wharton, could be an 8.5.
Yeah, they're not going to get you off your seat. It's not going to be something you dream about,
I totally
right?
agree.
So, and that's what I see with Amorim, which is every chance that it goes tits up, right? Because he might even quit before something like that happens, right? This guy's so volatile. But I've seen something from him in terms of this could be the next tactical evolution that the Premier League starts adapting to. This could be something because every big team, every big pressing 100%. Team struggles 100%. Against us, right? And as soon as he starts to figure out how to play against the low blocks as well, because that's the last thing that we still need to see, this is going to be like the system. We'll start seeing. In fact, there's rumors that Liverpool actually want to do a 3-5-2, and that's why they signed Isak and Ekitike.
Oh,
Right?
No,
they want to move to a 3-5-2. Yeah,
that's the only way it makes sense, and that's why if they're gonna sell Semenyo too, it's got to be with that type of formation. I think,
and that's why they signed Frimpong as well, right? As the right wing back in that system, and Kirkaz as the left wing back in that system.
Yeah, it makes much more sense.
5-2 with the 3 midfielders, that makes a lot more sense. So my point is, how much do I want Amorim to stay here for? As long as possible, because I really like the guy. This is the first coach in a long time I felt a connection with, because Van Gaal played possession football, but I couldn't stand the guy. It was like the most boring vanilla white dude ever. Even the most exciting thing he did was when he fell down on the sideline, right? Yeah, that was the most exciting thing he did.
So fun.
Wait, Andy, I'm not going to take the slander of Van Gaal. He made Smalling look decent. He made Smalling look.
Well, even Phil Jones, wasn't it? Jones and it was Jones.
Did you watch
Smalling.
that game against Everton? How many crosses, or was it Everton? Or it was Everton. We did more crosses, or was that another?
That was Moyes.
Moyes,
was that not Moyes? Yeah.
Sorry,
that was a lot of
sorry. So every game felt like just the metronome just going, and then my eyes would cross.
No.
Yeah.
I think Van Gaal was. Van Gaal was the most boring coach we've had, who actually won a lot of stuff, or who made us.
Well, but that's my point, right? I didn't have the same connection to him. You know that video of Ruben Amorim after the 3 wins in a row, when he turned up to training and a fan was outside, he rolled his window down, he has the sunglasses on and he's smiling.
Yeah.
It's like I just like the guy. You want to like him, and that's what I mean. And I feel like if there was one person I could pick to be successful, it would be Amorim. Right, whether he can be or not, obviously time will tell. Yeah, Bruno too. Yeah, Bruno also is very likable, man. I don't know what to say. But anyways, last question: is Diogo Dalot actually related to Amorim?
Yes.
I saw the post, but I didn't think it was true.
They have a great grandfather.
Oh, okay, that's too far.
Yeah. So they're like cousins.
It goes back like four
cousins,
generations or 5 generations or something. And apparently there was a circus leader or something named Dalot. Isn't that what it is?
That's what it was.
Yeah. And what do you guys think in the chat, man? It was is Dalot actually related to Amorim, and is that why he keeps picking him? What do you guys think?
I think Dalot the day he leaves, I'd be so happy. The most ridiculous player we've had, doesn't do anything.
He's got the bozo gene, but it's just he is bozo.
I think you guys are very harsh, man. I'll tell you why. Because I would take somebody like Dalot over a Sancho, over Antony, over a Garnacho, over a Rashford. People who basically think they're better than the club, right?
Oh, I have nothing against his engine.
Yeah.
It's just in terms of like decision making, he and Dorgu are almost on the same level. It's just Dorgu gets into better positions and actually
he has much more
better.
Physicality. Yeah, his physicality is much better.
But we're dying. We're desperate for some real quality on the left hand side.
When was the last time we had a good fullback? My brain can't even remember the last. It
was a short stint with
Luke
Antonio
Shaw.
Valencia.
Oh, Luke Shaw. Yeah.
Luke Shaw was good
Antonio
for
Valencia,
Oli. One of the seasons
Antonio
under
Valencia,
Oli,
Luke
he
Shaw.
was like the best left back in Europe, and he actually was. I'm not just making that up.
Yeah.
He was one of the best left backs in Europe, and then another season where he did okay, probably. But we just did. You guys saw the episode where we looked at Luke Shaw. This man has given us in over 9 seasons. Has he been here for 9 seasons? Rishi, are you still here?
Yeah.
That's what Rishi says. He will take Dalot over Luke Shaw, which is also a good point.
Yeah.
But I think he's been here for 9 seasons, and I think he's played, at best, he's played 4 full seasons combined out of those 9. So he's been sitting on the bench for 5 full seasons collecting a paycheck. So,
by the way, look at his pedigree of the clubs he's played for. It's not like he's just some he hasn't played for bad clubs. He obviously has something to provide.
Who are we talking about?
Dalot. He's on loan at Milan, came back to us. I mean, coming out of Portugal, he was very highly rated as well.
Yeah.
So I mean,
But that was the last one, and even Valencia, man, he was what a goal by Valencia, by the way. The one from the right hand side is still one of the best goals I've seen. That was insane. Okay, let's do a fun one. What's the greatest United goal you've ever seen? Like, doesn't have to be in person because they're obviously like not anywhere near the UK.
United goal?
Yeah, any goal you've seen United scored. What's the best one you've ever seen?
Ronaldo Portsmouth.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe
Oh no. There's Wayne Rooney, Man City.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Oh,
was
I couldn't believe it, man. I thought there was an issue.
I hate to bring this guy up because I think I hate him more than anybody else. But the Garnacho goal against Everton, was insane, right?
But that reminds me, I have to acknowledge Dalot and Garnacho, like for us, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
next, I'll bring up Amrabat, you know, and
oh god,
players as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Garnacho was a banging goal, but you know what, the one that I always remember fondly is the Rooney pass for the Van Persie volley.
That's what I was thinking too. That was
the
my
top.
Too.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh!
Speaking of Van Persie, the greatest goal I've seen, like actually watching the game, not just highlights, was the one he scored for the Netherlands in the 2014
World Cup. Dolphin dive.
Pass from the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman was nuts, dude, because it was Daley Blind and him were both playing for United at that time, and that it was a made by United type of goal, and that was insane. Let's see what some of the comments are saying, and we'll stop it there. Pogba goal versus West Ham, that was also a clean one. Yeah, absolutely. Bruno against Leon last year. The one that hit the post. Where he went on the volley.
That outstretch, that
would have been crazy. The
Cantona chip was just aura. I remember.
Course.
My god!
Did Bruno scored a Cantona chip as well? If you remember,
he scored
like that.
That
was very nice. It says Scholes' goal against Barcelona.
Oh yeah. Oh my god! Off the cross, dude. Oh my god.
Van Persie header for Netherlands. I'll tell you. Again, I'm not trying to get canceled, guys. I know this guy was a horrible person, but some of the goals that Mason Greenwood scored,
his catalog was
also insane. His catalog is very good, and what he scored some goals from the edge of the box. I remember him just like casually running onto it and smacking. It went in the middle of the goal and past the goalkeeper. And this wasn't like Bayern and net. So it was an insane goal. He had some good goals, and like Rashford's free kick against Chelsea. That was pretty insane. The floater.
Oh yeah.
Rashford's had an insane goal catalog as well.
True.
He does.
But who else has one of the best? Yeah, Bruno, and then Harry Maguire. In terms of impact,
yeah.
Like he's one of those players that you'll look in like a few years on FIFA. You're like, United hero. What the heck? Like, but then you look at the goals.
Penalty taker.
Yeah. I mean, he just.
Maguire's penalty taking is insane.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's pretty good.
Consistently.
Yeah. I think a recent goal that I really liked is Mbumo's last one against Brighton. The way he smashed that shit the fact that Bruno's involvement with it was so cold.
Just a dummy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was
just out of the way, and I think McTominay's got some good ones. And then who else? Martial had some good goals.
Oh,
Martial scored some good ones.
The Bruno chip against City.
Yeah.
Or the one against Ben Foster when he goes on the sideline. And then,
the one he dinked it. The one that he dinked.
That was one of the most like what the heck. And then of course against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, leave us comments down below. This has gone 40 minutes over.
I know. I haven't 12 o'clock on my shit.
Yeah. Anyways. And then Nelson's got to get back on the planes.
That's right.
So we'll let him do that. Yeah. This is an awesome chat, guys. If you guys want to get involved, I'm live every day from Monday to Friday. That's the new schedule now. At the same time, 1 p.m. ET and 6 p.m. UK. It's going to be a call-in show for most of them, but it's going to be, I'm going to be discussing some sort of news or something like that for the first 20 minutes and then open the lines for you guys to come in. So both Shant and Nelson, you guys are welcome every day. But if you guys want to get on a fan debate the next time, your best opportunity to do so is by coming to the live show every day, calling in, saying something that somebody wants to hear. Don't just say reckless stuff like Dallow's the best player we have, because that's going to get you kicked and banned. But if you do want to come in and make some good points like these gentlemen have for consistently over several live streams, you have a chance to be part of the Footy fan debate next Thursday. So let's make it happen, man. And worst case, we know Nelson will cook up something, and Shant will say Mkhitaryan for president or something like that.
Yep.
And we'll make it happen. But anyways, lads, it was a pleasure. Thank you guys for joining, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.